Hello and welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. And welcome to the final episode of this year's Secret Origins Month. Earlier this year, I did Batman Hush, which heavily featured Catwoman, so let's see how and why she first turned up. Bob Kane was apparently inspired for a few of his villains by movies, something we'll get back to in a minute, and he, along with co-creator Bill Finger, wanted to give the new Batman comic some sex appeal and appeal to female readers with a recurring love interest for bats. As such, the inspiration for Catwoman came from a few actresses like Jean Harlow and Hedy Lamarr. She wasn't going to be a murderer, just a thief, and, get a load of this quote from Bob Kane about her. I felt that women were feline creatures and men more like dogs. It's true, I do have a desire to go for walkies and eat bacon strips, whereas all the women I've ever met scratch at furniture and try to climb on top of me when I'm trying to do a review. I felt much warmer with dogs around me. Cats are as hard to understand as women are. Damn vaginas, they're just as incomprehensible as cats wanting to get into the bathroom while you're using it. You always need to keep women at arm's length. Bob Kane, spokesman for Activision. We don't want anyone taking over our souls, and women have a habit of doing that. Damn women are always playing keep away with my soul! I guess women will feel that I'm being chauvinistic to speak this way, but I do feel that I've had better relationships with male friends than women. With women, once the romance is over, somehow they never remain my friends. Can't imagine why that would be, Bob! You know, this is why Bill Finger is more fondly remembered than you, dude. But yeah, let's get back to Catwoman herself. Some things to note just out of the gate here. We don't get the name Selina Kyle in this, or any real name for her until Batman number 62, which gave her first origin story as an air stewardess who had amnesia from a blow to the head and turned to a life of crime because that's what blows to the head do, I guess. But yeah, she had a series of other identities in a lot of her earlier appearances. In fact, you won't even see the name Catwoman either. They started calling her that an issue or two later, but she starts out as just the Cat. You also won't see a costume for her. Her first costume comes in Batman number 3, and it's, that. Costumes would be difficult for Selina over the years, with some better than others, and consequently her alignment would shift all over the place. There was even a time during the Silver Age when she was a good guy who would help Batman and Robin, usually by pretending to have gone bad again for a case, and then suddenly deciding permanently to be bad again for no real reason. But of course, Batman number 1 isn't just the premiere of Catwoman. It also introduced the Joker, so you know what, we might as well talk about him too, since his story comes first, and because people want villain first appearances, and we're here anyway. Much like the Joker's own multiple-choice origins, the actual origins of the Joker are disputed among his creators, Bob Kane, Bill Finger, and Jerry Robinson. The only common element of all the accounts is the image of actor Conrad Veidt in the silent movie The Man Who Laughs, about a disfigured man with a permanent rictus grin. And yeah, you can definitely see the influence there. Jerry Robinson, artist for the book, claims that he wanted a nemesis for Batman who could be an ongoing threat. And yeah, he appears a lot in the early Batman books. He wanted the Joker to have some unique physical trait that would make him instantly memorable, drawing a playing card concept sketch of the character. Robinson then said that Bill Finger felt the character was incomplete and provided the image of Conrad Veidt for inspiration. According to Bob Kane, who probably needed to be put back on track after a rant about women keeping his soul in a glass jar or something, The playing card sketch was provided after Bill Finger showed him the Conrad Veidt picture, and that the two of them came up with the character first, and that Robinson had nothing to do with creating him other than the initial sketches. Bill Finger, in turn, said that either Bob Kane or Jerry Robinson had come up with the Joker character, inspired by an actual playing card Joker. Kane then made a rough sketch that looked more like a clown, so Finger in turn showed him the Conrad Veidt photo, and Kane drew a picture more like what we know of as the Joker. It's unclear who's correct here, but it's probably a combination of all their stories, and all of them had a hand in creating the Joker. But it is so wonderfully fitting that a character like this's exact beginnings isn't known for certain. Let's dig into Batman #1 and see how things got going for both Catwoman and the Joker's first appearances.
Welcome to Atop the Fourth Wall, where bad comics burn. Linkara's gonna teach you all a lesson you won't learn. What's with these awkward subjects? What's all this art so rubbish? To anyone who's had a bad comic published, it could be your turn. Linkara, he is a man punch, sporadically a grouch. Linkara, he has his own spaceship, but he's always on his couch. Linkara, ghosts, gods, a universe in flux. Linkara, this comic sucks. Linkara.
The cover's nothing to talk about. Batman and Robin swinging on a rope with a yellow background and some silhouetted buildings. Actually, the more surprising thing here is seeing a #1 on the cover at all. As I've mentioned before, during the Golden Age, it was usually believed that a comic's first issue shouldn't have the number on it, that readers wouldn't want to spend their limited money on the first issue with no guarantee that the book would be around next month. I guess that's the strength of Batman as a character, since he was already established and profitable over in Detective Comics. Can't fault that logic, since Batman stuff on my channel generally does better for Atop the Fourth Wall than any other comics I review. I fully expect this episode to do better than either of the other two Secret Origins Month episodes. And if I'm wrong, I'll do absolutely nothing, because sometimes people are just wrong. Learn to accept that mistakes happen, people. Anyway, after a recap of Batman's origins that I already covered way back in the Detective Comics #27 review, we begin with the Joke's first appearance, where he's holding 3 cards, and 1 for Batman and Robin each. Man, Magic the Gathering has really changed over the years. Once again, a master criminal stalks the city streets, a criminal weaving a web of death about him. The Joker's 3-card Monty scheme is deadly. Only 2 dare to oppose him: Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder. 2 to battle the grim jester called the Joker. A battle of wits, with swift death the only compromise. Well, the debate rules are harsh but fair. I love how the Joker's first real appearance is basically Trollface. An older couple sits at home listening to the radio. My, isn't it peaceful sitting at home like this? Nothing like it. Static. Man, I love living in Silent Hill. I guess the static was actually the music cutting out and replaced with the voice of the Joker, who announces that he'll be killing Henry Claridge and stealing his family's famous diamond. The old dude dismisses it as just a gag, but soon radio stations are contacted and they report that it was a signal hijacking. The good Mr. Claridge, this dude, is given a massive amount of police protection as the time the Joker gave approaches: midnight. The clock strikes and the guy is okay, but then he falls over dead, his mouth twisted into the Joker grin. It's horrible! Grotesque! The Joker brings death to his victims with a smile! But it did do wonders for this guy's dental work, so that's an upside at least. The Joker also somehow has already gotten away with the diamond, the one in the safe being a glass replica along with his calling card. We cut over to the Joker, and shockingly enough, the first real image we have of him, not just the opening preview page, doesn't actually have him smiling. Kind of interesting, unless you count this as more of a subdued smile versus his usual grin. Anyway, he decides to exposit out loud that he had injected the guy with a poison the night before that would kill him in 24 hours and stole the diamond at that time as well. They find the glass diamond tonight that I exchanged for the real one last night. A prediction on the radio of a crime that has already been done. Although kind of annoying that my broadcast got preempted by baseball. If the police expect to play against the Joker, they had best be prepared to be dealt from the bottom of the deck.
What is this card? Rules for drawn stud poker?
We cut over to Bruce and Dick talking about all this. But Bruce, why don't we take a shot at this Joker guy?
Not yet, Dick. The time isn't ripe. Look, we have more important things to worry about here. One Face has broken out of prison again, and I don't have time to deal with this Joker. I've got real supervillains to deal with.
The Joker does it again to another rich guy, this time hiding out in a suit of armor and killing the guy with a blow dart while the cops are gassed unconscious. Well, at least he's not the kind of comedian who recycles the same material over and over. However, it's not just polite society that's pissed at the Joker, but the tweed suit and fedora mafia, who are all pissed that he managed to pull off these jewel thefts before they could. They set a trap for him with a crime boss, putting out the word that said crime boss thinks the Joker's a coward and that he's gonna get him. Bruce gets word of it too and decides to observe the proceedings without Dick around. And indeed, soon the Joker shows up at the guy's house and realizes the trap. However, Batman's presence is soon discovered.
I'm afraid I wasn't as silent as I hoped to be. Ugh, damn laser torch. Ever since I started bringing it with me on jobs, it keeps activating on its own. Robin, who told you to keep packing this stupid thing?
The Joker is momentarily forgotten as the Batman leaps down the stairs.
I am the night!
While Batman beats up the goons, the Joker takes the opportunity to shoot the crime boss and make a run for it.
I won't even waste the usual Joker venom on you, brute, but give you something you can understand. Lead. Actually, I don't speak lead.
Batman leaps onto the Joker's car and they struggle, forcing the car off a bridge. However, the two manage to be thrown clear of it, and the Joker manages to beat up Batman a lot and kick him off the bridge. Fortunately, Batman survives and swims to safety. Joker soon announces his next victim, a judge that had once sent him to prison. Like before, the cops are summoned to protect him, and the police chief hangs out with him.
Listen, Judge, I've got men posted outside every door. No one can get in. Relax, let's play some cards. I've been wanting to try this new Exodia deck for days now.
No, it turns out that the police chief is the Joker in disguise, having tied up the real one in the basement. He kills him, then calmly leaves the place in the disguise without the cops realizing what happened. However, it seems Batman anticipated this, so he had Robin pursue anyone who left the house. Robin sneaks into the Joker's hideout to try to get more details, but the Joker finds him and knocks him out.
Robin gone. Must have followed a lead. I'll use the infrared lamp. This invention of mine will come in handy now.
Get those wonderful toys.
Apparently their boots are soaked in a special chemical that can only be seen in infrared rays. Unfortunately, that means he spends the next hour following his own footprints in a circle. Batman arrives before the Joker can inject poison into Robin.
You may be the Joker, but I'm the king of clubs. That would be funnier if you were actually using a club, Batbrain. Right, I'm, the ace of diamonds? We'll work on it.
In the ensuing struggle, the place gets set on fire and Batman hit with some of the Joker's paralyzing gas. He leaves Batman to die in the fire, but the Joker has not reckoned on the amazing recuperative powers of the mighty Batman. Even in the Golden Age, the writers were turning him into the Bat God. He manages to get Robin free, who overheard who the Joker's next target is. They quickly find him there, and he just starts unloading his gun on the hero.
Die! Blast you, die! Why don't you die? Hasn't the Joker ever heard of a bulletproof vest? It's a good thing I wear like 5 of them on top of each other, since bulletproof vests lose their stopping power after one shot. That's why I'm so bulky in these comics.
Our heroes succeed in knocking him out.
You played your last hand, Joker! And admittedly, you had a straight flush, but damn it, I had something for this. I'm the king of clubs!
And so our story ends with the Joker arrested and behind bars again.
They can't keep me here. I know of a way out. The Joker will yet have the last laugh.
I mean, you kind of already did, since you're getting to keep your snazzy outfit in prison and all. After a story with Dr. Hugo Strange, and is it weird that Hugo Strange has been a Batman villain longer than the Joker or Catwoman were? We get our Catwoman, or The Cat, story. We open with the preview page showing Dick Grayson aboard a yacht hosted by a Mrs. John Travers. We see in flashback that Bruce learned about the yacht party and was concerned that every crook in town would be trying to steal an expensive emerald necklace that she owned. Also, he's smoking a pipe, definitely something that didn't really carry over into the modern day.
It's elementary, Commissioner Gordon. Our deadly foe in this fight is none other than rock and roll.
Batman wants to be there, but he apparently has some other job the same night. As such, he entrusts Robin with taking charge of the case on his own. He secures a place for Dick as a steward on the boat, because child labor laws were different in 1940, and soon he's aboard, keeping an eye on Mrs. Travers as she talks with her nephew. Said nephew, Denny,
Oh, hi, Danny.
has brought aboard an old woman named Miss Peggs as a guest. Ever since I sprained my ankle, Denny has been escorting me about. A fine boy, your nephew. A fine boy. And it goes without saying that he rocks my world every night, Mrs. Travers. We're gonna capsize this boat this weekend if you get my meaning. Dick talks with another of the young stewards. Well, I assume they're young since he's only slightly taller than him, but otherwise he's rather wrinkled and big-headed. Anyway, the steward says that Denny's a piece of crap who's probably just trying to get some money out of Miss Peggs, since he regularly tries to borrow money from his aunt. In fact, Mrs. Travers apparently attracts a lot of people with her money who all want a piece of it. And indeed, later on, Dick overhears Mrs. Travers rejecting an attempt by her brother to borrow money from her. Just because you're my brother doesn't mean I must finance all your stupid plunges in the stock market. It's different this time, sis. They're called NFTs. Just look at this drawing of a monkey I don't actually own. The brother says he'll get her money somehow. Then Dick spots Denny tossing some paper overboard. The wind brings it back to the deck without him noticing, and Dick grabs it. Oh God, never mind. It's just a very explicit sex note from Miss Peggs to him. She goes into so much detail. So much detail. No, the message is from the cat, telling Denny to keep his aunt away from her room. Dick rushes over to her room, but he's too late. Mrs. Travers comes out despondent that her necklace has been robbed. There was a private detective guarding it, but he's been knocked unconscious. Soon, a boat claiming to be the Coast Guard arrives, but they quickly reveal themselves to be goons also after the necklace. To their annoyance, Mrs. Travers and the yacht captain have to report to them that it's already been stolen. As such, they decide to play Coast Guard anyway and hold an investigation to try to find it, while also stealing everything else of value. When the goons start manhandling a couple, Dick Grayson leaps in to attack them, the crooks trying to shoot him down. He dives off the boat into the water, and they assume they succeeded in shooting him. Did you get him? He ain't come up yet. Sure, boss, we got him. We don't miss. And as we all know, a dead body in the water definitely sinks down to the bottom and doesn't float. We're really good gangsters. Naturally, of course, Dick just took the opportunity to change into his Robin gear in the water. The crooks can't find the necklace and decide to make off with the money and jewels they stole before the real Coast Guard shows up, but they don't expect Batman to come in and take them out as they try to make their getaway. Robin arrives as well to help tie them up. How did you get here?
The trail got cold on my other case, so I drove to the yacht.
So basically he got bored with whatever he was doing and decided to go to the more interesting case. World's greatest detective, everybody! And then Batman decides to insert some padding into the story by telling Robin about an experiment he wants to run, to see how brave crooks are without guns.
I'm gonna show the kids of America how yellow you rats are without your guns. I'm gonna let Robin here take 4 of you on all at the same time.
The guy's nuts! I mean, does he have cameras or something set up? How exactly can he show this to the kids of America? The goons, of course, think they can take on a child, but Robin quickly kicks the crap out of them.
Well, kids, there's your proof. Crooks are yellow without their guns. Don't go around admiring them. Rather, do your best in fighting them and all their kind. Only you can stop VHS tapes, xenomorphs, and childhood friends who dress up like mummies and quote Aristotle as part of elaborate revenge schemes.
Steve, who the hell is he talking to? I don't know, man. Maybe that Robin kid's been hitting him in the head, too. The goons are tied up, and I guess just left on the boat to be found by the Coast Guard or something, and Batman takes the stolen cash back to the boat, Robin catching him up on what's been going on. Robin thinks that the necklace thief is either Mrs. Travers' brother or her doctor, who had been mentioned earlier as having massive gambling debts. On the yacht, I guess Mrs. Travers decided, well, I still paid for all this, so party's still on, everyone! Because they're now holding a big costume ball. Miss Peggs isn't in a costume due to her feeling too old, plus her ankle isn't feeling too well. Batman joins in on the pretense of wearing a costume, and an ironical joke takes place as he's awarded the giant trophy cup for his costume. He fills it up with the recovered money and reveals himself. You see, I really am the Batman! Well, in that case, you didn't win anything! This contest was for legit competitors! A fire alarm is pulled and everyone starts rushing out, including Miss Peggs. It worked! There goes Miss Peggs! Nice legs for an old woman! Crap, now Batman's hitting on her. Miss Peggs has a little black book with half of Gotham City's phone numbers in it. The yacht captain announces it was a false alarm, and Miss Peggs realizes that Batman was after her. And indeed, Batman and Robin soon catch her and take off her wig and makeup. Let go of me! Quiet, or pop a spank! Yup, still into this, even if it was just makeup. This panel's become quite infamous and semi-mimetic, to the point where it's easy to believe it might be a fake one, like all those Moon Knight panels about demanding Dracula pay him, or the "Has anyone seen the Joker" thing. But nope, unless someone altered 2 different copies of scans of this comic that I have, it's real. 1940s casual sexism. And thus Catwoman truly stands revealed, in all her cross-eyed glory. Batman unwraps the bandage around her ankle, so she remembered a fake bandage but no attempt to make her legs look older, and the emerald necklace is hidden behind it. Batman deduced it was her because the note to Denny pointed out that he had an accomplice, and Miss Peggs was his guest, not Mrs. Travers. Denny comes in with a gun to try to claim the necklace, and is immediately knocked down by Batman with 1 punch. The cat asks Batman to join her as a partner in crime, but of course he refuses her. However, he insists on taking her with them on their boat back to shore, while leaving Denny behind locked in his cabin, and Catwoman jumps overboard and accidentally bumps into Robin before he can pursue her. Robin thinks that he did so deliberately to let her escape. Why, Robin, my boy, whatever gave you such an idea? Nice night, isn't it? Especially a nice night for a woman to drown because she's miles from shore without any way of getting back, and she's in a dress. And so our story ends with Batman thinking that the cat was rather hot. But he's got some girlfriend named Julie during this time, and Robin pouts. Thanks, Batman. Good to know we can just let criminals off the hook as long as they make out with us. Good lesson you're imparting here. These stories are actually pretty damn good. Obviously, a lot of the dialogue is dated and has some unfortunate and hilarious implications when viewed from a modern perspective, but the actual stories are very well executed, particularly the Joker's first appearance. The character shows how relatively consistent he's been since the very beginning. The dark, murder-based sense of humor, said murders revolving around a poison that will give you the same kind of rictus grin he has. Even some of the artwork feels like it matches up with more modern sensibilities in framing and depiction. It's not perfect, obviously, but the action for both stories is well presented, and despite some padding over in the Catwoman story, it's a decent little mystery with some entertaining fight scenes and plot developments. Clearly, the Catwoman story was more intended for little kids, despite the quasi-romance stuff at the very end, what with Robin taking center stage for the first chunk of it, and then Batman speaking to the reader directly, telling them to fight crime, and that criminals are indeed a superstitious, cowardly lot and all that. For Golden Age stories, these are shockingly decent. Not perfect, obviously, but considering some of this stuff still had the occasional moment of Batman trying to gun people down, or weirdness like aliens showing up and it not being that big a deal, it's pretty good and fairly enjoyable. Not a bad way to end Secret Origins month for this year. Next time, we're off so that Clive Sinclair can talk about prequels to The Exorcist. But when we return in 2 weeks, we start the holiday season off with more of the Clone Saga.
Sitting on my couch reviewing comics, the worst books that you will ever see. It's sad that comic
The Joker is momentarily forgotten as the Batman leaps down the stairs.
What kind of a world we live in where a man dressed up as a bat gets all of my press?
Hello my friends, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell for notifications on new video releases. If you'd like to support future videos, you can check out my Patreon or purchase a t-shirt via Teespring or Shark Robot. Thanks for watching!